Gran Torino is a 2008 Clint Eastwood film, one of his best, and it was also my first Clint Eastwood film. I first saw it when I was 13, and I wasn't really. It's not that I didn't like Clint Eastwood, it's just that I just kept passing him off, and his movies got swept under the rug with me. And when I was 13 and Gran Torino was playing in theaters, my family and I went to see it, and I really enjoyed it. Is it perfect like some of his other films? I wouldn't say that. We'll get more into that later on. And there are some spoilers in this. But the movie does feature some really strong aspects to it. It is one that a lot of people can learn from, and it deals with racism and loyalty and friendship in such ways that are very good. Like, I really loved all the good that this movie had. But the only bad is near the end of the film, like the climax. It seems to be an ongoing thing with whenever I don't give films perfect scores. It's sometimes due to the climax of it. But that's fine. This movie comes close to being perfect, like Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby. So let's get right into what Gran Torino is about. For anyone that doesn't know, Gran Torino is actually the name of a car. And Clint Eastwood's character, Walt, who's a Korean War veteran, that's his prized possession, his 1972 Gran Torino. So Walt's wife dies, and he hates pretty much everyone. Like, he's a major racist, and he hates everyone decades younger than he is. Like, there's this young priest who's in his 20s, and Walt hates him too, just because he's really young, doesn't have a lot of life experience. So the death of his wife really makes Walt hate everyone even more, because he's mourning, and that's pretty understandable. Um, his neighbors are Hmong people. I hope I'm saying that correctly. That's some area in China, or so some kind of Chinese people, the Hmong. Again, I hope I'm saying that correctly. If not, then I really apologize for that. And because Walt fought in the Korean War, he's extra racist towards Asians, even though he hates anyone that isn't a Caucasian. Probably would have been worse if his neighbors were Korean, because fighting the Korean War might have a different effect on him. But there's major dilemmas happening with his neighbors. There are these street thugs in this violent gang that are targeting the teenagers in that family. They really want their cousin Tao, who's played by B. Vang, to join up with them. But of course, Tao keeps rejecting them, really doesn't want to. But they just keep badgering him anyway. And they eventually talk him into trying to steal Walt's prized possession, his Gran Torino. Walt catches him, and that's really when Tao says, "No, no more of this." But these gang guys will not stop targeting Tao. I never really understood why they wanted Tao so badly. I mean, like, Yeah, he's one of the guy's cousins, one of the guy's cousin. But well, he wouldn't make a good member. The Tao is an unnecessary. He's a wimp. He wouldn't be a good member at all. So why they keep targeting him is really beyond me. I didn't really think that it was necessary at all. So more things end up happening with the between the thugs and the family. Like there's this one scene where there's this fight that happens on the lawn, and Walt pulls out a gun and a shotgun, and he says, "Get off my lawn." And it's a pretty badass scene. Walt saves them. So yeah, they really show their appreciation towards him, and even though Walt is a heavy racist and he keeps spewing out racist slurs throughout the whole movie and trash talking throughout the whole movie, they still respect him for saving everybody. And after Tao tries to steal the Gran Torino, they talk both parties into making Tao Walt's errand boy. Although Walt is extremely reluctant to it, Walt sees it as a way to make him man him up, and the blossoming relationship, the friendship that happened that we get between them two is very fascinating. I really loved it, and their friendship between Walt and the rest of Tao's family, again, very well done. I totally loved it. He really comes to realize that he has more fun, and he grows to like his neighbors, he always spouts racist things towards. He comes to love them more than his regular family. So yeah, the things about racism, like racist themed stories, sometimes it can come across as preachy and just simply not very well done. But in the case of Gran Torino, it's one of the best. It's so well done. And even if it wasn't really so much a story of racism, like you got this old guy who's a total badass, and you got this little wimp, and the friendship that's between those two, even though they're decades apart, it's still it's great. It's awesome, and it eventually goes to a point where Walt will do pretty much anything to save his new friends. And that's kind of where the movie flounders a little bit. Well, what do I mean by that? I mean, the violence between Tao's family and the thugs, it just won't stop escalating. It gets very horrifying. And this is where the spoilers alert come. It reaches a point where Walt devises a plan to go over to the home ground, like the thugs area, so that there can be witnesses all around, and sacrifice himself. As Walt is about to pull out a lighter, the bad guys empty their guns all over him. So the climax is over really, really quickly. There's no fight. There's barely a fight that happens. And Walt is he's one of Eastwood's best characters. It's his best performance that he's done in years. I wouldn't say it's Eastwood's best movie that he'd done in the 2000s. That would be his things in 2006, Letters from Iwo Jima and Flags of Our Fathers. But this is Eastwood's best performance. Is his best character in like throughout the entire decade. Well, aside from $1 Million Baby. So yeah, it's the second best. And he gets killed just like that. I didn't like that aspect of it. That was kind of a blow to it. But after the climax, it gets pretty good. The Tao inherits the Gran Torino over Walt's actual kids and grandkids, which was pretty good. And just knowing that Walt wanted to sacrifice himself for his new friends, it was good, but God, I didn't like Walt having to die like that. That was kind of a little bit of a blow to it. But other than that, Gran Torino is a very solid film. It's one of the best films of 2008. Walt Kowalski is one of Eastwood's best characters that he's ever played. And I'm going to give the movie 3.5 stars out of 4.